to News Geelong. Lifeline's only national fundraising campaign, Stress Down Day, is today with Geelong businesses, schools and individuals getting behind this important fun day, as Meryl Friend reports.
This Friday, the 22nd of July, if you're feeling a bit stressed, maybe you could stress down by wearing your slippers or dressing gown or even your pyjamas to work. Maybe not, but at least some slippers. You can buy them from Lifeline stores around Geelong, and all proceeds go to Lifeline.
Well, Stress Down Day is a day where Lifeline are fundraising mainly to support our 13 11 14 phone number, which is our telephone counselling. And in order to raise the money, they have designed these wonderful slippers, which are a lot of fun. Perhaps, you know, the colours are interesting to some. And we will have those on display and on sale in the shops. I do have 5 shops for Lifeline down in this region, 3 in Geelong and 1 in Colac and 1 in Drysdale. So each of the stores will have their displays, their own individual displays, and the slippers will be the main feature. But we will also have books on how to reduce your stress and various little handouts for people to take with them to keep in their bag or on the bench at home. We'll have candles to create that quiet atmosphere and the relaxation of the shop. There'll also be quite a few laughs because we have asked the volunteers if they'd like to dress up. So obviously it would be to coordinate with slippers would be pyjamas and dressing gown and things like that and sleeping hats or whatever. So, and we all know that to have a laugh does relieve and break that stress. So
it's really very needed because what the latest poll that Lifeline's undertaken has shown that half of us are stressed. So that means every second person that we come across in the street or within our daily lives are feeling extreme stress. So that's why this day is really important, because Lifeline's seriously concerned about that. But how to put a bit of fun in our life as well, because that does relieve stress. Laughing is a good stress reliever as well. So having a day like this is a way of highlighting it, but in a fun way. And how long has it been running? About 4 years, so this would be the 4th year. And all of our shops participate, as do the organisations in the community as well, to support Lifeline. For Stress Down Day, Meryl Friend, News Geelong.
Thank you, Meryl, and stress down with your warm slippers tonight. The battle continues between the federal and Victorian state governments to follow the lead of other states to have Victoria commit to ongoing funding for neighbourhood model occasional childcare, Take a Break program, as Debbie Meaney reports.
The occasional care program is significantly under threat thanks to some funding issues. I spoke with Andrew Katos, the member for South Barwon here at Mitre 10, to tell us about just what we can do to change that.
Well, that was a program that was, up until last year's federal budget, was funded 70% by the federal government, 30% by the state. In last year's federal budget, so going back to 2010, what actually happened was the federal government withdrew its funding without any announcement. Now, the previous state government extended that funding to June 30 this year, funded the 100%, but they were only going to go till June 30 of this year. Now, basically what the present Victorian coalition government has said, that our 30% is on the table. If the federal government was to reinstate its funding for 70%, our money is there. We're waiting to go to reinstate this important program. So this is one of those things where it's been a cost-shifting exercise. They've tried to put all the cost onto the Victorian government, but look, our budgets are very tight at the moment and we simply cannot afford to fund 100% of this worthy program at present.
And that obviously helps families in the area?
Oh, it does. It just gives them that occasional childcare, and that gives them that break, as the name says, take a break. So it is an important program, but we really want the federal government to come on board and fund their share of this program as they were.
All right. Well, let's hope they do that. And again, how can we get behind the ministers to get that done? Well,
again, look, the Minister Wendy Lovell, from our perspective, has committed that 30% funding there. It's on the table. So again, contact your local members here to speak to Darren Cheeseman's office and to Richard Mail's office and tell them you want to see that the funding reinstated and the federal government pay its fair share of the cost.
In Geelong, this is Debbie Meaney for News Geelong.
Thank you, Debbie. Barwon Health held a free event for the children with type 1 diabetes at its clinical school, with Australian top cyclist Matt Vogel there to pass on advice, as Meryl Friend reports.
Dream, achieve, succeed. That's the message from elite cyclist American Matt Vogel. He's come to Geelong Hospital today to speak to over 100 children with type 1 diabetes. We're joined with Matt Vogel, an elite athlete and cyclist, and someone who has type 1 diabetes. Can you tell us about the Dream, Achieve, Succeed series you're involved with?
Yeah, well, I was asked by the health centre here to come and just share a little bit about my story of living with type 1 diabetes, and yep.
And so, what sort of situations come up where diabetes can be a factor?
So with type 1 diabetes, I have to regularly monitor my blood sugar, and blood sugar is really affected by the foods I eat, the exercise I do, as well as how much insulin I take. So I'm constantly thinking about those three things, whatever I do in life.
And so particularly when you're exercising and working out and cycling, that's all got to be taking into account how much energy you're expelling and that sort of thing?
That's right, yeah. I've got to check my blood sugar quite often, actually. Check it before, check multiple times during the activity, as well as multiple times afterwards.
Well, children develop type 1 diabetes, and there's approximately 130 children in the Geelong region with type 1 diabetes.
And what sort of signs, if parents are concerned, what sort of signs should they be looking for?
Yeah, look, children usually present fairly dramatically. They have excessive thirst, and they're also needing to go to the toilet more often. So it's often accompanied by weight loss and lack of energy, and usually develops over about a 1 to 2 week period. So if the child was, say, getting up in the middle of the night needing to drink and needing to go to the toilet, it might be worth getting checked out by their general practitioner to make sure they haven't got diabetes.
And for anyone who's not sure, what is diabetes exactly?
Well, diabetes is a condition in which there's lack of insulin in the body. The pancreas in type 1 diabetes stops producing insulin completely, and so children with diabetes need to have injections of insulin on a daily basis several times each day.
And so with this forum here today, there's a lot of children and parents attending, and the theme is that they're still capable of succeeding at whatever they want to do.
Look, that's the message you want to put out there, that diabetes, it's a difficult gig for parents and kids to have to manage, but there's a lot of positive aspects to it, and we're wanting Matt to show to both the parents and the kids that you can succeed, and that there's lots that they can do, as long as they manage their diabetes well, and that there's a positive message that we want to give.
Thanks for your time today.
No worries. Thank you.
From the Geelong Hospital, Meryl Friend, News Geelong.
Thank you, Meryl, and well peddled, Matt Vogel. This is News Geelong as we go to a break and return with the worlds of sport and weather after this.